This episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by Spectre Digital. Get in on the Black Friday sale starting today.
How to not suck as a band? Buy a Mac. You won't have money for drugs and alcohol anymore.
Or rent either. Good morning, headbangers. How the hell is it going? It's time for SMG Viewers Comments, the show that's about you, not about me. We're going to get to the questions in just a second here. But before we get to it, I just want to remind you guys, we've got our annual Black Friday sale over at Spectre Digital starting right now. We've got all kinds of cool deals and courses and bundles coming out. We've got a brand new one from Henning Pauly, his classic rock drums programming course. It's coming out. It's absolutely incredible. More on that in a few minutes. Anyway, let's get to your questions.
Imagine if people commented on channels focused on country music about how the techniques demonstrated are useless for death metal.
That's a great point, man. You know, I get that all the time. Oh, you use fake tone. You didn't use real tone. Real tone's this, real tone's that. It's like, it's a metal production channel. Hey, yeah, you know what I'd like to see? I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Rick Beato's a friend of mine, but I think it'd be hilarious if a few of you guys started, leaving comments over on Rick's channel about, how some of his guitar sound advice is useless for 8-string drop tune stuff. I think that might be kind of fun, actually. Yeah, feel free to drop by a couple of country music production channels as well and tell them that their advice is useless because we can't get super heavy fucking tone out of it. This is one of the main reasons why this channel even exists to begin with. I used to hang out on Gear Sluts. I used to hang out on the Mix magazine recording forums, and there was no fucking information anywhere about metal. Like, fucking none. It didn't exist. It didn't start until a whole bunch of heavy metal guys started hanging out on Andy Snape, and then we started getting the information like, hey, you know what? 5150s sound kind of cool when you boost them. Maybe we should check out what this Fredman technique's all about. That's where shit started getting interesting. So major kudos to Andy Sneap for that and hosting that, because that really did make things really cool for a great deal of us, not just me. I think that'd be amazing if people started leaving comments on other non-metal production channels about how the techniques that they provide aren't very helpful for metal.
Bands don't even sound like actual bands anymore. They sound like guitar players. I'm not a glutton for generic ass metal. I just want to hear a fucking band, not a display of guitar wizardry that's not even real, LOL. I feel like bands could sound different in this modern era almost solely by publishing live music that has been post-processed to death. Requires bands to actually be able to play their shit live and what they sound like, though.
Yeah, we all know that's gonna happen real soon. Actually, here's the thing, you should drop by on Monday mornings. I just did my very first live stream on a Monday morning and it went absolutely amazing. We're gonna call it Monday Morning Metal Madness or something like that. That's where you guys bring your mixes and I can critique them and maybe give you some advice to get some better fucking mixes and get some better results. We went for like 3.5 hours Monday morning. We started at like 7:30 a.m. and it just went on and on and on and on and on. You guys kept submitting and I probably could have gone for another 3 hours if I wasn't so fucking exhausted because I'm doing 30 videos in 30 days. But it's a cool place to come hang. I definitely recommend checking that out. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed, hit the bell, all that, so you get notified when that episode comes out. But I hope to see a lot more of you guys in next Monday morning because I think it's really cool. Instead of sitting there staring at your desk, at work, trying to avoid work, come hang out on my live stream. It's an awful lot of fun. But your point about bands not being able to pull it off live, I think we saw a few bands like that. And it's like, one of the last bands to come up, they hit everything on the modern metal cliche list. The clean vocals, auto-tuned to death, the screamy parts, the programmed drums, and somebody had a great point. It's like, you guys just won the 2021 award for Sounds Like Everyone Else. And here's the insane thing. As for not sounding like everything else, I went to a show at the Bovine Sex Club in Toronto. No, it's not actual bovines having sex, you fucking degenerates. Club's been around since like I was in my college days, actually. Went and checked out a band called Ammo. And they were singing, they were playing music. There was nary a 7-string or 8-string to be found. There was actual melody, and I walked out of that club doing the rarest of all things when I go see an original band, and that's humming the melody line to one of their songs. That hasn't happened since my 20s. So it seems like there's a bit of a metal revival going on in Toronto. And I even saw some spiked gauntlets and shit. I'm like, what is going on here? This is actually kind of fucking cool. But catchy fucking songs. And I talked with the guys this morning. We might be seeing those guys on my show real fucking soon because I thought they had something to offer, especially from the vocal end of things, because they were hitting really fucking amazing notes and they were hitting loud and high and long, and it was fucking great. And I haven't heard anybody sing like that in way too long. So there is hope. Apparently there was some rumblings in the metal underground up north in Toronto pretty fucking cool stuff. Hopefully we're going to hear more from that. There are bands out there. There are bands that can fucking crush it live. And I'm so glad I went to that fucking gig. There was another band that opened for them that was a little bit more thrashy, a little bit more punky, and they were fucking great too. I just wish I remember their fucking names. But I've seen a couple of great live bands around LA. You know, I saw the Aviators. I saw Old Blood. You know, there are some very cool fucking bands out there. They're just not being pushed by the powers that be. But that's okay. That's what's great about metal. Fuck the powers that be. We'll make our own scene.
You need talent, a decent mic, and some shit to record your instruments with. That's all.
Well, that's a gross oversimplification of things if I've ever seen it. Yes, if you want to do desktop metal, you might be able to get away with that, but I'd also recommend getting some monitors and some acoustic treatment so you can actually hear what the fuck is going on. You ever fucking consider that for even 3 seconds? Oh, I'm Mr. Know-it-all. I'm just going to say, yeah, this, and this. That's all you fucking... No, you fucking don't! Your suggestions are a guarantee for failure.
I didn't understand what I was missing until I bought a pair of studio speaker monitors. So much clarity and space compared to even solid headphones. Even cheap ones like the PreSonus Eris 3.5s showed me things I was missing when just using headphones. We'll never go back.
Hey, Tony, thanks for chiming in. That kind of illustrates the point that the last guy kind of misses, that you need fucking monitors to make your fucking mixes sound good. At least, especially if you're just beginning. If you're not like fucking expert level, like I know Nolly does fucking headphone mixing, and that's fine. He's like God tier mix engineer, and you know, he gets amazing results. Perfect, that's great. But for the rest of us mere mortals, especially those of us who are just starting out, yes, get some fucking monitors, please. I just talked with Nate over at Kelly. They are actually sending me a brand new set of the LP6s, like the new generation ones with the cleaner power amps. A few people were bitching that there's a little bit of hiss in the initial ones. They're $50 more each per speaker, so I think something like that. So instead of like $400, it's going to cost you $500 for the pair or something like that. There's an extra $100 in there somewhere. I'll have to look it up. But they're sending me a set along with their subwoofer, so I get to check that out in a couple weeks. Should be cool. The LP6s are still my favorite for the absolute, you know, beginner level bargain basement fucking monitors. They're absolutely fucking great. The people who run Cali all used to work at JBL and all left and started their own company, and I think that's really fucking cool. And they're doing quite well, and they're helping out a lot of the home engineers. If you're on the fence and don't know if you should get monitors or not, go down to your local Guitar Center or along McQuaid's, wherever you are, and see if you can find out about a set of Calis. I think you're going to like what you hear. It's definitely worth trying out anyway. Don't be the, oh, you only need a little bit of talent and a little bit of gear. Yes, and you need fucking monitors. Don't kid yourself. You're not that good. Neither am I, for that matter. Okay, guys, it is time for Spectre Digital's first ever Black Friday sale. Now, we've got deals on everything at Spectre Digital until Sunday night. Scott Elliott has just released Guitar Tone Mastery 2, a series of add-ons for the original Guitar Tone Mastery, and it's only $97. Now, if you own the original course, you'll get the upgrades for absolutely free. And Henning just dropped his Programming Classic Rock Drums course, and this is something I've never seen before. He brought in Felix Lehrmann, Germany's #1 session drummer, to demonstrate classic rock drumming techniques, and Henning shows you how to program in that fashion. This is pretty cool.
But in general, the ghost notes could all be a little bit quieter for my taste.
So I'm going down here.
But you're absolutely right with that.
I'm amazing myself that this shit's possible. And I'm playing around with different articulations here now.
Now, what's more is we've even got my course bundle going as well for only $179 this weekend. And it's everything I've done. It's mixing metal with free plugins, mixing symphonic folk metal, producing prog metal, and total heavy guitar, which is all about recording live amps. And we've also included Alex Nasla's mixing an entire album course in the bundle as well. Everything on the site's on sale, including the Grooves bundle, which is Savage Grooves combined with the SMG Ironic Drums, and we've even got an Everything bundle. And yes, the Cock Blocker is on sale too for only $37. The sale's gonna end Sunday night, so don't miss out. Head on over to Spectre Digital and check out these once-a-year deals. Now back to the show.
Ultra controlling subject about which everything has already been told or made fun of. Bad jokes, poor staging, and even poorer acting. Boomer humor at its best. Try to do what your advice to new bands without your ineluctable convalescence. Do something new and original.
Oh, Boris, thanks so much for the advice. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for looking down your nose at the rest of us. That's really fucking great. Thank you. You're making the internet truly a better place to be. I like your thing about do something new and original. I thought that was some fabulous advice. Here's the thing. I went and looked at your channel and I couldn't even find it. So may I humbly suggest that you try following at least half of your own advice, and that's do something instead of nothing.
Does this guy talk about home studio or about building a new Abbey Road? With all my respect, he shares a vision of a sound dinosaur from the previous century. All the best to his screaming anyway.
What's the fucking problem, Andre? I'm trying to build a bigger studio. I'm working out of a fucking garage. This is, in every sense of the word, a home studio. We used to park my wife's Toyota right here where I'm sitting. I converted this to a home studio. Been working with bands in here since 2003. This is the new century, not the last century. Please try paying attention. Fuck, it's so hard when I have to keep explaining the most basic shit to you guys over and over and over and over and over again. Fuck's sakes. I'm trying to teach you guys how to record live drums because the whole fucking, hey, let's program drums in Contact does tend to get old after a while, especially when everybody's using the same contact sets. We might be up to a little bit of a solution at Spectre Digital. That's coming out later, not right now, but there should be something cool coming up in the future. Stay tuned for that. I understand a lot of you guys can't record real drums, but for those of you guys who do want to record real drums, I'm doing my damnedest to show you how it's done. I might be moving how to record heavy drums to Saturdays or Sundays because I think we're going to do the live streams on Mondays now. So stick around. We'll probably have the next episode of how to record heavy drums out this Sunday, and we're going to be looking at snare technique and how just having your drummer alter his technique, how he hits it, can have profound effects on the overall tone of the snare drum. This is before you ever hit an EQ or a compressor. And it's really worth grabbing a cattle prod and jamming your drummer with it so he'll fucking pay attention too. Now, here's the thing. I've been in a home studio for a very, very long time, but I am looking to expand. Am I looking to build the next Abbey Road? No, but I would like a slightly bigger drum room because I love recording live drums. I'm very passionate about it, and that's what drives me, mainly because when I started out in college, nobody could record fucking drums, and they all sounded like shit. So I've spent a long, long time, many years, learning how to do it and do it well, and I'm more than happy to pass along what I've learned. So this whole thing, oh, next Abbey Road, I mean, like, really just shove that up your ass, man. That's not helpful at all.
I know you mentioned them here, but what are your thoughts on electronic drum kits like Roland V Drums?
Funny enough, I had a set of V drums when I was first starting out. I think I had one in like 1999, and it was not fucking cheap when I bought it back then. I had, what, the TD8 or the TD20? I had like the really expensive one. Like we're broke on this, and I thought it was going to be great. And then bands would come in, the drummers just fucking hated these things. I mean, just absolutely fucking despised them. And we started going with, we started like, with the fucking rubber cymbals, and then we went to live cymbals with V drums, and then live toms with a V drum snare, and then live kick, and then finally live snare or something like that. And, just project after project after project, I'd start working in the live drums. Cymbals were the first, though, and that worked out pretty well, to be honest with you. I know the technology's come a very, very long way over the last couple decades. I just started doing something with Roland. They asked me if I could do an episode on this Pro Mixer or Go Mixer Pro G, which is for working off your iPhone. And I thought that'd be kind of cool as like a little portable home recording unit, especially for the singer-songwriter kind of thing. I think this might be pretty badass. So if that goes well, I've also got another video. I'm going to be taking a look at some of the Roland triggers for using on live drums and show you they're not just for triggering samples, but they can also be used to trigger gates, and that can come in real handy when your drummer plays a lot of ghost notes. That's going to be really cool. But hopefully at some point, I'm going to be able to get a set of Roland V drums on here because I think that's worth taking a look at, because I understand the way how the housing situation is these days and the way our real estate is so fucking expensive. Most people can't afford their own apartments, much less their own houses. So suddenly live drums becomes less and less and less of an option for a lot of you guys out there. So I'm going to have to start taking a look at some of the V drums and see how they work with like contact sets and, the built-in Roland modules and all that kind of thing. I think that's something I'm going to have to look at seriously on the show. Let me know if that's the kind of content you guys want to see. I'm very curious to hear from you. So please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about me featuring some Roland V drums on the show. If I get enough positive comments, I can bring those comments to Roland and say, hey, let's explore this. Could be cool. If you want to see that, I really want to hear from you about that.
Yo, Glenn, basic ass question because I've only ever double tracked before, never quad tracked. How do you pan your guitars when you quad track? 100 left, 100 right, 75 left, 75 right. Also, while switching from quad track chorus to a double track verse, so I need to compensate volume wise, i.e., pull down the quad track part or boost up the dual track part.
Yes, on all fronts. I'll usually do 2 guitars on 100 and the other somewhere around 75, 80, whatever sounds good, whatever. And yeah, if I'm breaking things down and I've only got 2 guitars going in the verse, might want to bring that up a little bit and then bring them down a little bit when the 4 parts come in on the chorus. Absolutely, a little bit of automation on the guitars goes a very long way. Make sure you're bussing all those quad track guitars to a stereo bus. That way you've only got 1 fader to automate. It will definitely speed up your mix process. Good luck, dude.
Here in the Netherlands, almost no one has a credit card. We always use debit cards. And it's always amazing that being in debt was the norm in countries like America. Honestly, if you want to avoid debt, throw out your credit card and get a debit card instead. Well, this will probably be more difficult as there is a service free in my country. Getting professional help with your debt really does work as it forces you to stay on budget.
That is some tremendous advice, my friend. I've got to say, I've got a very European approach to financing my studio and whatnot. I never bought anything unless I actually had the money for it, and everything I made from the studio went back into the studio, and I was able to buy a lot of my early gear like that. I mean, like, I bought my first Vintech Dual 72. I bought that with money I made recording bands. I just worked my way up. My dual rectifier I got from making records with bands, that kind of shit. That's just how it went for me. I never, ever fucking financed something on a credit card because that's just financial suicide as far as I'm concerned. We've got a very special episode coming up on Tuesday. Actually, I just got the script from my script writer, and I kind of co-write these with him. He'll send me the basic outline, and I'll sit there and edit them and kind of give it my kind of approach, and it just helps me put out a lot more content and keep the ideas flowing. It's much. I've got a team working for me now, actually. It's really great. And I've got a couple of editors working with me. I've got a guy doing thumbnails, and I've got a fucking scriptwriter, and he's brilliant. He's really great. He's worth his weight in gold. And these guys are absolutely amazing. I'm super fucking thrilled to be working with them. There's no way I could have done 30 videos in 30 days without these guys, so I'm forever in their debt. But Tuesday, we've got a very, very special episode coming up, and that's going to be 13 ways to avoid crushing debt. If you're a home musician or you want to run a home studio and you want to win at this and you don't want to wind up working for the banks or working for the fucking credit card companies, you want to work for yourself, you are definitely not going to want to miss this episode. It's coming up Tuesday morning. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Don't miss it. It's going to be great.
Hey Glenn, it might be a dumb question, but here it goes anyway. Do you think it is a good idea to record drum samples of your session in case you are sending tracks for someone else to mix? My band's about to record a second album here in Brazil, and the mix engineers in the UK, and to avoid major problems at the same time, I came up with that idea. Thanks for your amazing videos, and fuck you, Glenn.
Hey, Pedro, thanks so much for writing. Always so great to hear from fans all around the world, especially in Brazil. I really want to visit one day. I think it's a super cool country. Felipe from Angra keeps on bugging me. Dude, you got to come to Brazil. And I'm like, yeah, trust me, I really want to. Hopefully that'll happen sometime in the future. I think it would be really amazing to visit. Anyway, as for your particular question, there's absolutely nothing wrong with grabbing some samples. You don't even have to edit them down. Just have them on hand. Might as well, just for safety's sake. I mean, like, I usually do that at the end of a session anyway, in case I gotta, fly in a crash or something's missing, or just we need like a clean cymbal decay or something like that because some asshole's cell phone went off as we were ending a song, or the drummer went yeah, or something stupid like that. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you just need those clean tails, and that can help. Sometimes you might need to clean up the toms and replace that shit. It happens. It's not optimal, but it's always best to prepare for the worst. So grabbing samples would be a good idea. That being said, hey, you can track the hell out of stuff. You can do a great job, get a great drum performance, and the mix engineer just replaces everything with samples anyway because, hey, that's what everybody does, and you want to fit in. That's what happened to me last time I worked with a band, and I wasn't too happy about that, but hey, it's out of my fucking hands. I did my job, and it's kind of sucked that the mix engineer couldn't mix real drums.
Holy crap balls, that sounded nuts. Sorry to be a dummy here, but after you dial on a sick ass sound, how do you save it? Do you output each track to a new stem or make double tracks with outboard effects? How do you handle it when you have to jump to other projects with many tracks and then the bass player says, hey man, you can go scoop out the moods of the last 7 tunes. More vids on patch bass and outboard gear would be very cool.
Yeah, you're taking a look at some of the IGS stuff I just reviewed, which is this back here. Really great, wonderful 500 series gear from IGS. Generally, I'll take pictures with my cell phone with the dates on them. That usually lets me know. You can also get like high contrast outlines and write down the settings, and you can write some notes on what project it was used, what it was set at, all that kind of stuff. That's how they used to do it in the analog days. They used to have the high contrast stuff. and just take a lot of notes. I've got, notes and notes and notes and notes and notes of amp settings on my 5150 from, the early 2000s. That's how we did it. The cell phones made things a lot easier. You can just take a picture or make a little video and say, okay, it's this song here. This is what I got it set to. That works too. Just narrate it and let yourself know what's going on. But if you do have something like that where you're running a lot of outboard, and somebody absolutely has to have a change in the mix, yes, you can do a recall. Just make sure you've taken notes. Otherwise, it's never going to sound the same. The great thing about using analog is if the band really wants recall and everything's analog, you have to set everything up again. Just remember, you can charge a whole lot more for that. So that's really cool. So that saves a lot of the frivolous, oh, hey, could we have a little change on this, even if they don't really need it? Because if they have to pay money for it, chances are they're not going to bother you. But if they absolutely have to have it done, yeah, guess what? Charge them because you'll be earning it.
Glenn, something just happened to your computer. A fucking bass player ate it. Who cares? How and where do you back up your files? I would hate to lose those just one song forever. Thanks in advance.
I use hard drives all the time. I've been using these SanDisk SSDs. These are like 1 terabyte. These are tiny. They're great. I got a new one from OWC Computing, and I'm going to be demoing it at some point. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm actually recording the show onto it right now, and it's 2 terabytes, and it's even waterproof. That's the thing. I'm going to drop it into a fucking glass of water just to show you how robust these fucking things are. SSDs are great. The mini hard drives are great, too. You can get those. They're like 4 terabytes or something like that. Yeah, I'm using these. These are like the Western Digital Easy Stores. These are great. These are maybe $100, $150 or something like that. This is like 4 terabytes, fits in my laptop bag. You don't really need any more. I mean, like I've backed up a lot of stuff to optical over the years, and even some of those have a very hard time loading up because, if there's a little bit of dust on those discs and whatnot, like a CDR or a DVD-R, they're just fucked. Or if they get scratched, you are completely fucked. I've never had one of these fail on me. Your mileage may vary, however, but my money's on these because these work great.
Does anyone know if there's a correlation between the false comments concerning tone and sound quality and people who never paid attention in science class and don't understand how basic physics work? It seems to me that a lot of these arguments are provably false because they aren't supported by physical laws.
I think you're right on the money there. There's a lot of bullshit when it comes to a lot of guitar stuff, and when you start running actual tests, it's funny how those arguments fall apart really quick when you can prove things, things like tone wood and tubes and that kind of thing. Turns out a lot of it's just myth and doesn't stand out to any kind of, even the most basic prodding with the scientific method. But, denial is a real thing and fantasy is a real thing. And people, you'll find, especially in this modern age with so much information out there, people often refuse to engage with reality. And I think that's just really sad.
Real tone is the same, mostly clean blues tone that millions of dads the world over plink and doodle with endlessly while wet dreaming over Stevie Ray Vaughan and John Mayer on their $4,000 guitars through their $2,000 amps that their wives won't let them play loud enough to matter.
And that, my friends, is somebody engaging with reality.
Oh man, I have a fun story about cracked VST. When I was 18, I thought it would be a good idea to download Bias Effects Elite for free, and it actually did work. Except it put a Trojan on my PC that hid inside NVIDIA container and mined crypto for roughly 6 months before I caught on. I genuinely just thought it was Windows 10 being bad. Ended up having to do a Windows reset to fix it and went out and bought the Bias Effects Standard within the same week. Please don't pirate software. If not for the developers who worked hard, at least do it for your expensive computer's safety.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. Fuck the developers. Just do this to look out for yourself. I mean, like, obviously there are going to be, horror stories and all that kind of thing. I mean, like, did you ever stop to think about possibly running an antivirus on that cracked software you downloaded just to see if there was anything installed or not? Oh, yeah, right. You're a musician. That means just by definition, you're too fucking lazy to bother with even the most rudimentary safety. We reap what we sow, don't we?
Is it ever legal to resell a software license? I'd be surprised if it was allowed by the TNC when you buy software. You don't own anything. What you paid for is a license to use it. If in doubt, use free software. Note the capital F.
Oh, there's a lot of great free stuff out there, and there's a lot of great affordable stuff out there. Reaper being one of them. I mean, like a home license will cost you, what, $60, something like that? It's phenomenal. Blows the fucking doors off Pro Tools, anyway. About the licensing thing. Here's something, back in like 2004 when I wanted a copy of Saw Studio. It was going for $1,500 back then because it was written by one guy and he had a small audience and, he wanted to get paid for his work. And he wrote an assembler, which is like insane level fucking programming. Like nobody writes an assembler anymore. This was fucking fast, so it was worth the money. I was actually able to buy a used license from a friend of mine. I got the full software. I went for $1,500. I think I got it for about $1,000 actually, because I bought a used license. And under Bob's terms and conditions, that he was totally fine with that. He didn't mind that at all. He's like, nope, you bought it, you owned it. And I was more than happy to fucking pay for it. So that worked out pretty fucking well. You're going to find though, a lot of developers aren't that generous when it comes to certain things, and they don't want people transferring. It's kind of like, the whole right to repair thing. Well, you can't transfer your license. You're licensing my software, and I say you can't do that. And to that, I say, go fuck yourselves, because that's really not fucking cool. Developers who say you can't fucking transfer your license, that's complete fucking bullshit. Fuck you guys, you greedy bastards. It goes along with the whole right to repair thing, where you got, companies like Apple locking everything down. Apparently that's changing, where you're going to be able to fucking, do your own maintenance on your stuff. And like, that's how Apple was even born. Hearing it from Steve Wozniak, one of the founders of Apple, said they were tinkerers. If it wasn't for right to repair, they wouldn't have been able to start Apple. More companies need to fucking realize we need to have the ability to tear stuff apart and tinker with it and rebuild it and fucking work with it and make something new with it. Otherwise, we're never going to move forward, and we're just going to wind up being owned by these mega corporations whose only sole desire is profit.
Glenn is becoming a metal mythbuster. As a scientist, I very much appreciate the cutting down of bullshit that modern metal reeks of. Thank you for saving me money on a new guitar head and a guitar. I can now pay my engineers and the rest of my crew more. Thanks. P.S. If you want to make your life sound better, you should pay your engineer enough to give a shit.
Oh, wow. There's some real truth in that statement. The one thing I'd have a lot of bands come in over the years and like, yeah, we played a gig last night. How'd it go? Oh, shit, man. The sound was terrible. Did you pay the guy running the board? Well, no. Well, what the fuck did you expect? You want God level mixing for nothing? I mean, come on, get fucking real. Here's the thing. If you want it to sound good live, pay your fucking live engineer. It's really that simple, folks. If you don't give a shit about the guy who's mixing your sound, or at least buy him a fucking beer or something, don't expect him to give a flying fuck about you, because you just don't deserve it.
It cannot be easy producing this much content, and it's insanely good. May luck be on your side.
Hey, thanks, Wimpy. I think I'm like 21 days right now into 30. It's a little exhausting at this point, but, we're powering through. And again, I thank my crew, Jack Neela, Ziz Gorlin, and of course, Scythe, for the script writing. You guys are all fucking amazing, and Alzia as well. These are all guys I found over on the SMG Discord, and they're absolutely fucking amazing, except for Jack. I did a record with Jack there a couple years ago at Phase 1. That was the one where we did the one take miracle, where we did like the 7-minute song on drums, and the drummer nailed it one fucking take, and a bunch of guys, oh yeah, I could have done that. Oh yeah, I could have done it. Yeah, you definitely could have done it, and you showed it by making a video showing you doing it too. Except that never fucking happened, because you could do it in your fucking dreams. Seriously, though, the video was called Bring Back the Drummer, and yeah, it was just a once-in-a-lifetime take, and it was so cool to be able to capture that. Great job to Oliver, the drummer. He did an amazing job. Jack was the guitar player in that band, and yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that project, actually. And I'm super happy to have Jack on board as an editor, as well as Ziz. You guys are doing an absolutely spectacular job, and I'm thrilled to be working with you.
Any pointers on blending amp and DI signal for bass guitar? I know it's not your preferred method. In the context of my material, with only one guitar, there's room for some amp growl on the bass, I feel. Been experimenting with different EQ treatments for each signal, and a time delay on the DI to correct the phase. Cheers from Central Ontario.
Yeah, I spent a few months living in LA. You won't think Ontario is that terrible for very long, trust me. Unless you've ever, yeah, that's all I can say is, wow, you've obviously never left the province, because we've got it pretty fucking good here. Take my word for that. Anyway, about blending DI and that kind of thing. No, I've done stuff like that before. I've taken clean signals and dirty signals and blended them and EQ'd them differently and all that kind of stuff. I've done that quite a bit. And wow, are you ever gonna like what's coming out from Spectre Digital later on this winter? I can't give you any details yet. All I can say is I've never seen anything like this, and it's gonna be pretty fucking wicked for bass guitar. I know you guys are gonna like what you hear. It's got some pretty amazing capabilities. That's all I can say. No details yet. I can't wait till we can put this out for you guys, because I know you're gonna fucking love it. I'm certainly loving it already. I'm pretty fucking blown away. Like, fuck, this is great. I can use this everywhere. That's all I can say about that right now. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks so very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hope to see you guys in here Monday morning for metal mixes, and on Sunday as well for how to mix and record heavy drums. That's a fantastic series. Want to thank Pearl Drums and Sweetwater for sponsoring that one. That's just super fucking cool. Anyway, don't forget, we've got our Black Friday sale over at Spectre Digital starting now. We've got the brand new Guitar Tone Mastery from Scott Elliott. We've got Henning's new course. We've got my courses, mixing metal with free plugins, and a whole bunch of others in the Glenn Fricker bundle. We've got a whole bunch of different bundles to check out. It's definitely worth heading on over there and grabbing some once-a-year deals, because they're only happening this weekend. Links are in the description below. Now get moving. I'll see you guys tomorrow.